And we are officially live. Hello to all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of Dual Dynasty, your weekly WWE review show here at the BC WrestlePod, network. I am El Jefe, also known as Mikey around these BC WrestlePod parts. Joining me right now, of course, is the Bleat Father himself, Kilt Man. And of course, joining us in a little bit is going to be our lovable goofy goober of himself in Minnie. So Minnie should be rolling up here pretty shortly.
Lovable.
Be nice. I'm just kidding. No, it's been forever since I felt like we've had an actual proper review for WWE. Um, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. We'll just say that. But we are here to do a proper WWE review for Raw and SmackDown this week, and then we will also be making our predictions for Crown Jewel Perth, which is happening this Saturday. Um, I'm gonna watch the replay because it starts at 5 a.m. Pacific, and I am not getting up that early for any pay per view. I don't care what company it is. I am not getting up that early for a pay per view. It is crazy, but yeah, so we're gonna go through all that goodness. But before we get into it proper, if you are new here, we're gonna get these announcements out of the way quickly. We stream on YouTube and Twitch and Kick, so whatever your preferred video consumption platform is, we would love for you to subscribe and to follow us on any of those three or all three, whatever it is that you want to do. However, we realize that watching full length reviews may not be in your wheelhouse, may not have the time or in your attention span. So if you still want to interact with us in our little community, then you can follow us on the social medias at BC WrestlePod, where we do report cards, we give you previews of the weekly shows and the pay-per-views and all the other good stuff there. And if you would like to take it a step further and support us financially, first and foremost, our little coffee bot will be popping in ever so often during this review, where you can click the link to the BC WrestlePod coffee, donate to help the metaphorical and physical lights on, and help us pay for these expenses, because running this podcast is a lot of fun, but we do need the extra help. But on top of that, we also have some merchandise available. Link in the description of this video and in the chat on the various platforms there. We are at bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com, where, of course, we have merch of all our review shows, and we also have some limited edition collections, which includes our pumpkin suplex latte collection, just in time for the fall. For Latino Heritage Month, we have our Festival of Lucha collection. And then just dropping earlier this week, just in time for the spoopy season of Halloween, All Hallows Eve, and whatever spookiness that you want to celebrate in the month of October, we have our Botox Skeletor shirt and our Monsters of the Mat collection. So whether you're into Grindhouse or if you're into, the more subtleness of Halloween, we got you covered. And you can find all those and many more designs at our merch store at bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. But with all those announcements out of the way, let's just get into everything proper. So, what we're going to be doing for our review today is we are going to be covering Raw and we're going to be covering SmackDown. But instead of going through the show from top to bottom and covering everything, I've kind of compiled the three biggest points that I, came up with and learned about and discovered while watching Raw and SmackDown this week of our overarching narratives. We are officially in the go home week, where Raw and SmackDown are the go home shows before Crown Jewel Perth this upcoming Saturday. And we have some things to discuss. So we got three talking points for Raw, three for SmackDown, and then we'll get into our predictions. So, yeah, Raw and SmackDown are continuing to exist in the wrestling week. And instead of covering the whole show, we're just going to talk about the 3 points that I think are the most important. So, let's just kick things off with Raw. Ooh, hold up. Let me bring it in just in time, too. You're late.
Yeah, man. What the hell?
But I'm here.
That is true. You are here. Can't say the same thing for the professor. I'm just kidding. Love you, Professor. Hopefully to see you very, very soon. And you're just in time, Minnie, because we're just about to start Raw. Okay. So.
All right, let's go in Raw.
Definitely. Anyway. Alrighty. So let's kick off of things with our first topic, which happens to deal with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Enemies of my enemies are my best friend? ? So Raw opened up with a confrontation that kind of tried to blend respect, resentment, and betrayal all in one segment. Rhea Ripley called out the Kabuki Warriors, but before things could escalate, Io interrupted and tried to bridge the gap, saying that Rhea was right about Asuka and Kairi, but admitting that she still cared about them. It was in this moment of emotional honesty that quickly went off the rails when Asuka demanded an apology and Rhea told her to basically go to hell, which we love. The tension boiled over into chaos with the Kabuki Warriors attacking Rhea and Io jumping in to save her, only to get blasted with blue mist for her trouble. So, what could have been a moment of redemption turned into complete mayhem, leaving both Rhea and Io laid out. So, boys, the first talking point here. Do you think this angle did enough to reestablish Io as a babyface, or did this overcomplicated segment end up muddying the waters for everyone involved? Kilt, I'm going to come to you first.
It's going to be very moneyed regardless. Io got smurfed this week, kind of like how Rhea got smurfed last week. Because holy crap, that was a lot of mist. She was a blue head to toe practically. Thankfully, they scaled back this week, and Io only got, like from the chest up. But I think the one that loses out on all of this is Kairi. Kairi. Yeah, Kairi. Like character-wise, I think she's going to go through the most trauma out of everyone in this storyline. Like, yes, I want the Rio, a shipment team just as much as I wanted, the Re or the Eat Rhea, however you want to, do the J Rhea combo that we did like last year. It's good. It's interesting. It's a little money. They could probably clean it up a little bit, but they're going to continue on, and I think it's okay for now.
Well, I mean, to be fair, because of this, we get a match out of it set for Crown Jewel, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But Minnie, I come to you next. So same thing. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had you on. WWE has been kind of running the same play over and over again for a little bit for all the better intents and purposes. But what do you think of this quasi feud between Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors? Like, where do you stand on this whole thing?
Man, I don't even know what the fuck's going on half the time with WWE. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It's been the same. I've been so bored, man. It's a feud. I'm just leaving it at that. At least they're not like shoving Rhea right immediately back into the title picture, so they can let some other, like, don't get me wrong, I love my mommy, but like let some other superstars have their time with the titles and to kind of do their things with the women's title pictures and everything. But cool. I get to see these guys wrestle.
Which, is all good. We're going to talk about the champions in a little bit during our predictions for Crown Jewel Perth, because I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, where's the rest of the women on this roster? Like, I feel like we see the same 8 every single week for the last month and a half. I'm like, I know y'all got more. Like, where everybody at? So my thoughts on this whole situation. Am I excited for this match at Crown Jewel Perth? Yes, because I think Asuka and Kairi and Io and Rhea are fantastic. However, I'm not the biggest fan of how we're getting to this. I understand we had to speed up Asuka's heel turn because of the fact that kind of threw the women's championship storyline for a loop of trying to figure out what to do with it next. But we have 2 women's storylines going on, and then everybody else is not on my television screen. So I'm like, okay. So my final verdict, my final thoughts on all this thing. I agree with you, Minnie. I mean, it's a feud. Lisa gets these 4 onto television, and they're going to be on the pay-per-view. But unless this evolves into one or both teams going after, in my opinion, the tag team championships, we're going to keep spinning our wheels. And my fear is what we're going to get at Survivor Series next month with the women, if we even get a women's match at all. But we're not done talking about the women quite yet, because this gives us into our second talking point for Raw, which is, again, more women's division chaos, this time in the form of Bayley, Lyra, Raquel, and Roxanne. So this week saw another tangled web in Raw's women's division. Bayley is still reeling from being abandoned by Lyra last week. She tried to make peace, only for Lyra to tell her she was on her own. Again, Bayley is going through this multiple gimmick/personality thing that's happening with her right now. So hello, the role model, like Bayley is going through her catalog of characters. So again, Bayley wanted to make peace last week. Lyra told her she was on her own. Raquel, with Roxanne by her side during this, whole entire thing, took advantage of that isolation and picked up the win over Bayley in their match. But as soon as the bell was over, Raquel and Roxanne would launch a post-match beatdown on Bayley, which then prompted Lyra to step in. And surprisingly, it was Bayley who fought back and saved Lyra from the assault. It's definitely a strange shift in dynamics. Bayley, once the ultimate opportunist, now seems to be showing loyalty while everyone else around her. It's weird. Like, I don't even think WWE knows how they're going to handle this multiple gimmick personality thing very well, because it's already getting crazy. But Bayley and Lyra are apparently going to be working together somewhat. Lyra doesn't trust it with, the Judgment Day girls, which that's a whole nother conversation we can have at some other point, because I'm like, just what are we doing with Judgment Day? So my question for you both is, with Bayley, you doing this whole, gimmick of the multiple personalities, the multiple gimmicks, what do you foresee, what is the long-term goal for Bayley in terms of all of this? And do you think it's something unique that the women's division needs, or do you think this constant back and forth is just making it feel directionless? Kilta, once again, I'm going to come to you first. So what do we think of Bayley, Lyra, Raquel, and Roxanne and the whole situation we got going on?
It's really directionless, in all honesty. I'm not even sure what's going on right now. Because I see, Lyra trying to meet Bayley's friend and then become, Bayley's not liked person. I'm not gonna say enemy or upset with her or whatever. Just not liked. Excuse me. And then she goes on NXT last week and is now Tater Tot's favorite person. Well, even more so. And I'm like, you know what? One of two things needs to happen. Either they need to bring Lyra back down to NXT and just keep her with Tater Tot, so that way those two can, be a team, because I think that'd be a great option. Or they need to move Tatum up, let Bayley continue this whole weird fucking thing, almost Ron Killing style, because that's kind of what this is giving credence to, in my opinion. And then just let Tatum and Lyra just have fun. Personally, I just want to see more Tatum, but that's because Are we deep enough where I can start cussing again?
We're in 17.
I'm a giant simp.
You are a giant simp.
But no, it's confusing. It's kind of not. I wouldn't say boring, but it's they're trying to do a weird thing that mixes the voices in Randy Orton's head and the multiple personalities of R-Truth/Ron Killings, and which is technically a rip off of Mick Foley and Buddy Love and Mankind. So it's kind of like they're trying to make this thing just together, and it doesn't really work that well. It's like it's working, but it's like me on a bad knee day. It's like I'm there, going slow, a little confused, mostly in pain.
Hey, you know what? That is an accurate That is an accurate description. Minnie, I come to you next. Again, Bailey has been going through this multiple personality / multiple gimmick thing. Lyra happens to be it, and then Roxanne and Raquel, in my opinion, are just there. What do you think of this, and what are we doing?
Either this is going to end up being a career-defining gimmick for Bailey, or it's going to put her in permanent mid-card hell for the rest of her career. I feel like this is where this is going to go with this particular gimmick. I'm not a big fan of it. But we'll just see. And then, of course, if they start pushing maybe the guys to be a true tag team, they start going for tag titles, and they start making the tag titles look good again, then sure, this is going to be great. If they're just going to be recycling the, two Judgment Day ladies over and over and over again, then, all right, I guess this is going to be stuck in mid-card hell for the rest of their lives.
Well, and then, again, this is a whole conversation, too. Like, when we talk about the Judgment Day girls, I was like, I know y'all are holding out for Liv to kind of progress this, but can we, do something new? Because it's the same thing. Judgment Day girls are out here doing stuff. Dominic and the Judgment Day boys are like, will they, won't they? They're together, but then they're also enemies. I'm just like, and it also doesn't help too that the majority of the time that people seem to enjoy Judgment Day is when you send them over to AAA to compete down in Mexico. And I'm just like, okay. Anyways, I really do hope that this is going to be really successful for Bailey. I have said this on multiple occasions. I feel that within the last couple of years, WWE has kind of poo-pooed all over Bailey and not given her the recognition or, things to do. And, I love Bailey because she is the good soldier, allegedly for WWE, and she does what she's asked of all the time. I'm just like, just let Bailey do something fun and let Bailey, give Bailey something worth it, because I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. And then, of course, we got this feud going on, but you have both of your mid-card women's champions. And then because of Crown Jewel and the way that works, you have your main women's champions tied up in some stupid stuff or non-existent. I was just like, so we're just kind of just spinning our wheels, I guess. But anyway, so speaking of spinning our wheels, let's get into the final talking point of Raw, which is the Bloodline versus the Vision. This is like the fourth sequel where the Bloodline versus insert faction here. And of course, we get the 5,675th return of Roman Reigns in this one. So, oh my goodness. So the main event of Raw this past week brought the family feud full circle. The Usos reunited to face the Vision, which are the Brawns. So Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, in a chaotic tornado tag team match with Paul Heyman lurking at ringside. Earlier in the show, Jay made it clear that he didn't care about helping LA Knight, who was also being, attacked by the Vision in all of this. And he didn't care about helping LA Knight and was focused solely taking down the Vision. And that energy kind of carried through the match. This match was fast. It was heavy. It was full of power moves. But the ending threw a twist when Roman Reigns showed up, blindsiding Breaker and helping the Usos get the victory. Now, I will admit, while it's all on television and for the fans in the arena, it's always a pop to see Roman back. But it begs the question, if the Vision are supposed to be Raw's dominant heel faction, why are they still undermined by the Bloodline shadow every single week? So my question for you boys is it smart to keep using Roman as an ace for the Usos, or does the constant interference make the Vision look weak and stall their momentum as, well, Raw's top villains at this point? Kilt, I'm gonna come to you first. What do you think?
They're not even on Raw. They're not even just on Raw. They're on SmackDown too. They've been playing, let's double brand ourselves. They keep hopping. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, dude, just choose a lane and go. I understand you want to be the big bosses or whatever. Just choose a lane. Like, come on. Like, But yeah, the OTC one. OTC 1, really? It's a little weak, a little silly. But yeah, the OTC coming back is interesting. I'm surprised he hasn't just fully retired. I know he's supposed to be doing filming, I guess. I don't know. I lost track. Honestly, I don't know if they can really sustain Roman coming back 4, 5, 6 times a year. Like, really, he's gone for a month. He's been gone for a month since Paris. He finally came back for one show. I have great doubts he'll be back next week. He's unreliable, in all honesty, if you think about it. Because, we need him now. Where the hell is he? Who the fuck knows? It's not sustainable for them to kind of just, for that one hit pop for whatever reason they have, just to bring him back, for a limited time only. He's not a collector's item. He's not a freaking piece of merchandise. Well, yeah, technically he is a piece of merchandise, but it's still a waste of time that they keep like randomly popping him up like here and there and not even everywhere. It just, whenever the hell they feel like bringing him out, it's a distraction. It's not going to make the Vision look powerful or weak. They're just gonna be incompetent regardless because it's the Bronze. And we'll get into Seth on SmackDown more. Well, we'll get into Seth more on SmackDown because he's showing something on SmackDown, and I'm like, ooh. Personally, I think they need to finish up. They need to just do this thing with Jay, because they're teasing a heel turn. They're teasing something. It's just they're taking it too slow burn, and I'm tired of them doing slow burn. Give me what I need to know. Speed up the flame. Leave it, take it off a low, put it on the medium. Let's go.
Very, very fair. And then, Minnie, same question to you. Yeah, so same question. Do you think it's smart using Roman as the ace every time, or does this continue to make the Vision look weak with this feud with them and the Usos?
I'm okay with me using Roman as an ace. It's Roman Reigns. But there has to be some sort of long-term story or something here. It's just been, can the Usos hold off till Roman Reigns comes back? And then they win. I feel like if they really want to push the Vision to be this big, scary faction, they have to win at Crown Jewel. And then they seem to keep dominating for a while. They do that, and they have to win and pin Roman. And then keep going for a while, and then build Survivor Series, and they do whatever they want to do with their Survivor Series bouts or whatever they're going to do. But till then, like, it's just been, this is like, what, the 4th time we've seen this iteration of this match? Like, we got to figure something out here.
Yeah, I mean, so again, I had my worries when we first got this, faction together. I did see some potential in it, but again, I know it's only been like a month and a half, 2 months maybe tops, but I'm just like, we're still spinning our wheels with everything. And we're going to get to it when we talk to SmackDown, but I feel like because you have the Vision feuding with the Usos and Roman on Raw, and then Seth and the Vision kind of are feuding with Cody on SmackDown, I'm just like, I know you're putting superstars on, on both shows, but I'm like, I honestly want to see a brand split. I'm like, some stars on Raw, some stars on SmackDown. Like, it's getting overcomplicated, and WWE to me has not shown that they are capable of doing multi-show across different shows, like storylines and things like that, which, brings us straight into SmackDown, because as we said, what happened at the end of Raw continued its way to kick off SmackDown and everything that happened on SmackDown itself. So SmackDown literally picked up where Raw left off. This time, though, the show opened with Cody, and immediately he gets interrupted by the Vision. Randy Orton came out to back Cody up, but Paul Heyman tried to stir the pot, planting seeds of distrust between, Rhodes and Orton ahead of the main event, which would see Cody and Randy versus, the Bronze of Division. So that's always interesting. And it's becoming clear that they're trying to build tension between Cody and Seth, bleeding across both brands as Seth's obsession with control and Cody's fixation on being the company's face of the future are starting to clash in subtle but noticeable ways. You add Heyman into the mix with his manipulations, and it feels like WWE is trying to tease another massive ego collision down the road, maybe possibly for Survivor Series. I mean, like I said, I honestly think that Cody and Seth are going to captain their teams for Survivor Series. But this begs the question, do we care about this groundwork that they're setting up between Cody and Seth, or has this story started to already spin its wheels? Minnie, I'm actually going to come to you first. So what are we thinking? Do we care about what we're setting up? And do you think there's potential, or is this story already spinning its wheels?
No, I don't care. We probably predicted this 2 months ago?
Probably.
Hopefully the match is good.
I hate that's what we have to is I hope the match is good is where we're at right now. It's so frustrating. It's just so. Here's the thing. It's not bad. It's not good. But the worst thing that WWE the last 2 months is it's just been boring. It's I'm so bored because we keep doing the same thing. Anyways, no, but I agree with you. I mean, I kind of don't care about this either. I hope the match is good. But Kilt, I'm going to come to you next. Same question to you. Do you think the story has potential and do we care about it, or has the story already started spinning its wheels?
Objectively, it does have potential. Unfortunately, it's spinning its wheels. Basically, they're just showing that Cody's kind of gotten into Seth's head and starting to make him lose it a little bit. My concern is they started something with CM Punk, AJ Lee, Becky, and Seth, and then they just dropped it after WrestlePalooza, probably because of how badly WrestlePalooza did. That's going to be my guess. It's just, I don't know what they're doing. It's stupid. I don't care. Please have a good match. I know these two are great caliber wrestlers. We have decent promo skills. It's just the writing's been fucky-wucky. Creative is just not really. I think they got to Paris at the very most, and we're like, okay, we're kind of figure it out week to week from here on, and that's kind of how it's been. And just looking at everything else lined up, I'm not sure if I care enough. I really don't. I'm tired. I want to rest. Can we wrap this rest this year up in a nice, neat little bow? Because we have a PLE this month, we have PLE next month, and we have a PLE in December.
Yeah, we have John Cena's last match at Saturday night's main event in December, and then let's just get through this because this has not been very intriguing and interesting to watch. And I don't know why for Raw, which is usually 2.5, 3 hours, and SmackDown being 2 hours, why we keep what are we doing? And I'm going to put this in here now because it leads into our next talking point. I was when I watched SmackDown this week, I was just you know what? This is refreshing. I'm kind of seeing this. It's new. But then I'm oh, wait, you almost tricked me, WWE. The reason that it's new is because you're having your NXT talent on SmackDown. And I was just why are you not utilizing your actual SmackDown roster? What are we doing? Because
I want to touch on this. because I really want to touch on this.
All right, let's do it then.
I think it was either last week or the week before. You and I had a conversation about why they weren't using Los Garzas, and then this week they used Los Garzas against our bouncy boy, the young OG Javon Evans and Ray Phoenix, and I was like, yes, this is amazing. I want to see the young OG not just on the main roster, but doing more stuff like this. This man goes flying everywhere. And I love everything about the young OG. And it's such awesome to watch him wrestle. Okay, from an outsider, when it comes to luchador, just looking over, you see a lot of high flying, a lot of maneuvers, a lot of rolls, a lot of everything. And then you see the young OG who's doing a slightly Americanized version, but less lucha inspired, just going places. Every time he hops over that rope, I go, screaming eagle! Because I'm a fucking nerd. And I love Lucha Libre. And, no, sorry. Nacho Libre.
There you go.
My brain's tired. I'm too tired. It's been a week. And, yeah, it's going to be great. I'm excited for him to come. I want more of our NXT talent on main roster, because there's a lot that are on there that are doing amazing work on NXT, and they deserve the main roster spots. Not saying that young OG shouldn't. He should. Absolutely. Just give me more. Because they're at the point where they're so stale in using their current talent that they're not creatively pulling anybody. But if you start bringing in some of these newer, fresher talent that not everybody's going to ever, the casual fan, so to speak, is watching, unless they pay attention to NXT like we do, you're going to have a lot more draw. You're going to have, okay, you get this 21-year-old who's been a champion before. He flies out like crazy. He's amazing. This dude deserves a chance to be on the main roster.
Right, which of course is the goal for everyone in NXT. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the match with Javon and Rey Fenix going up against Los Garza. And then I loved the, Chelsea and Alba taking on, Zaruka as well. But the problem I'm having is that you are... So, yes, 100% agreed. I think utilizing the NXT talent across your main roster is good because it can serve as a good litmus test. My issue is that you have a lot of your roster on both Raw and SmackDown already. So you mean to tell me you can't find anything creatively or anything to do with the talent you have, that you have to start pulling your NXT kids to come up and be a part of SmackDown, which is crazy to me. So I was just like, and again, this goes to what I was saying. Like, yes, I love seeing Javon and Sol Ruka and Zarya on SmackDown. But when we get into one of my talking points that we have for SmackDown, our talking points, I'm just like, Julia has just been sitting twiddling her thumbs. Like, what are we doing with her? Like, that's what makes me mad. And it's the same thing. Like, Becky is on Raw. Becky is the women's intercontinental champion. We just finished, a mixed tag team match at WrestlePalooza. Yes, the pay-per-view was awful, but that match and Stephanie and Io are the two highlights. So what? Becky's not just going to defend that thing until, I don't know, whenever they decide to feel like it. And it's even worse for Julia because she's only had like not even two. She's only had one title defense since winning this thing back in the summer. I'm like, what are we doing? Which is why, as much as I'm happy to see Stephanie as our champion, I don't hold WWE in high regard in terms of making her championship run be fun. Literally, Io defended her title for 3 times when she won it a second time back in March before losing it at Evolution too. I'm just like, whatever. So, well, speaking of NXT, former NXT talent, let's talk about Carmelo Hayes and The Miz and their relationship imploding, which we called. So Carmelo Hayes and Miz, so Mello Don't Miz is officially done, and both of them have now officially gone their separate ways. But of course, in wrestling fashion, it never goes quietly. Miz confronted Melo earlier in the night, demanding answers about why Melo wanted to face Sammy for the United States Championship. And Melo just kept it real. He just kept it cool and clear. Melo don't Miz is done, but he has no hard feelings because he wants to be a singles champion. Obviously, that didn't sit well with Miz, who later ambushed Melo before he could answer, Sami Zayn's open challenge, which then allowed Aleister Black to step in instead. It was a wild sequence that not only ended the partnership, but also left Miz looking petty and Melo looking more, now officially Melo is independent after all that. So I think the story did what it needed to. It gave Melo some spotlight and ended the awkward pairing. But the question is whether or not WWE pulled the trigger too soon, which is, I know, really weird to ask. But my question for both of you is, should WWE have let this, story play out a little bit longer to give, Melo's been here forever, to give more Melo exposure on the main roster? Or was this quick breakup the right move before the gimmick wore thin? Minnie, I come to you first. We've been saying this. We love Carmelo Hayes up in this household. We think he's talented, but since coming to main roster, he has not been given anything. They gave him this partnership with Miz, and now it is officially over. Do you think WWE pulled the trigger too soon, or was this the right choice to break them up in such a short fashion?
It's the right choice if the feud pushes Melo to at least a mid-card belt after this is over. If there's no follow-up to this, then it's like, why did we do this? If they do the feud, Melo beats Miz, or then you push Melo to the US or whatever belt he goes over after, and he actually does something, then sure. If not, it's like, okay, sure, Melo will just go back to obscurity like he's been. Sorry.
I'm just like, I don't understand why main roster wants to call it the NXT talent and then they don't do anything. They're like, it's wild to me. But Kilt, same question to you. Do you think they pulled the trigger too soon on the breakup, or was this just at the right time to, get it done and over with?
Honestly, I think it's the right time because it's been a rocky situation to begin with. I think they should definitely have a match just to put that nail in the coffin. Miz, for all of his talent, I don't know. He's like AJ Styles. We already know AJ is retiring. We don't know how long Miz is going to be able to be active wrestling, outside of just being, that heel in the background. Mm-hmm. I would like Melo to have a mid-card something. I would actually like him to be utilized more. I would like that entire roster to be utilized more. Obviously, we know that's not going to happen anytime soon, but it's definitely a situation where I think we should just. I want to trust in the process and let them just develop. I know for a damn fact that they're not going to do anything positive. So I'm just gonna. I'm definitely glad that they broke up Melo Camp Miz, because it had run its course. It's time for Melo to actually do something on his singles run, get some type of traction in there. Yeah, he needs more wins now, because that's all he's been doing is losing, and it's kind of like, dude, I'm starting to get disinterested. So let's get some Melo up in here and let's get him rolling, even if he had to pull back freaking Trick after Trick loses the TNA championship.
Well, that's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping to see this upcoming weekend at Bound for Glory, but who knows? I'm like, Mike Santana, I feel like kind of has to take it, but who knows at this point. But my final thoughts on this whole thing, I really hope that this means that Melo starts to get pushed into the mid card. He gets to be United States champion. And I'm just like, I just want something more for Melo, because the only thing he has accomplished here on this main roster in the 3 years that he's been here on the main roster is that he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Royale. That is it. And that is sad that in the 3 years, that is all Melo's accomplishments have mounted up to. This is crazy. But the final SmackDown talking point, we do have to talk about our women's division on SmackDown because we did have a contract signing between Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vaquer for their match at Crown Jewel Perth. And for some reason, we decided to put Kiana James and Julia into the mix of this whole entire thing. So, again, the women's division over on SmackDown, had fireworks during the contract signing between Tiffany and Stephanie. It started as a standard contract signing, but quickly devolved when Julia and Kiana James crashed the scene. They attacked Tiffany Stratton, trying to lure Stephanie into their faction. Instead of joining them, Stephanie fought back, setting off a chaotic brawl between all 4 women. The segment definitely had energy, and there are some fun future possibilities down the road. But I also feel that this particular segment risked feeling overcrowded with too many personalities fighting for the spotlight in the same storyline. Still, it's one of the few women's storylines right now that, as much as I hate to say that, I'm more interested in than what Seth and Cody are giving me across, Raw and SmackDown. But my question for you boys is, does bringing Julia and Kiana into the mix make this feel more exciting, or is WWE once again overcomplicating what could have been a simple, strong, one and done rivalry between Tiffany and Stephanie leading into Crown Jewel Perth? Again, I will give my answer right now before I throw it over to you, Kilt. My answer to this is no. I don't understand why you have your Women's United States Champion involved in this in any capacity. Like, she should be, like, she was in the middle of a feud with Michin and B-Fab, and then that's just been dropped all of a sudden. So, like, I don't get what we're doing. Why is Julia... I hate to say this. Why did we pull Julia up from NXT if this is what we're going to be doing for her? And I'm like, where's Zelina? Where's everybody else? Like, I feel Chelsea Green's pain because she's mad of how the Women's United States Championship has been, utilized and booked ever since she was the champion with it. And I'm just like, I feel you, girl, because we're doing nothing with anybody. So that's my answer. I hate Crown Jewel. I hate this Crown Jewel Championship because it ties up both of your champions in this stupid, championship where it doesn't really matter in all except for bragging rights and then the stupid ring and then the stupid Crown Jewel Championship belt, which is dumb in my opinion. But, I'm not the one who makes the decisions at the Fed. So, yeah, that's my answer. I don't like it because why are we having your mid-card champion who is a champion be involved in this? And it's probably going to be on the losing end in the stupid tag team match next week on SmackDown. Anyways, Minnie, I come to you first. Like, how do we feel about this how do we feel about all these women involved in this segment? And, like, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm going to go for to say with the Crown Jewel stuff. I actually don't mind the Crown Jewel Championship because we know if there's going to be a championship match at Crown Jewel, nobody's going to be losing a belt Crown Jewel.
That's true.
So it just gives them something to do where you're not like, well, we know the champion isn't losing. So give them something to do. So I think that's fine. It's cool. To what you were saying, it's too muddied. Too many people.
It's been weird. And I know that they're waiting to start whatever is next for everyone involved, but like Tiffany's championship reign has been like the boringest thing on the planet because if we look at just 2025, right? She has feuded, well, let's read. So the beginning of the year, she feuded with Nia Jax. Then she feuded with Charlotte going into Mania. Then after Mania, it was Nia again. Then we went to Jade. Then it was Nia and Jade. Well, no. Meanwhile, it was Jade. Then we went back to Nia. Then we went a little bit back to Jade. And then we had Nia and Jade not too long ago. And now Tiffany's facing Stephanie. And I swear to God, if they give Tiffany, Nia, or Jade once again afterwards, leading into Survivor Series, I'm going to scream into the ether. And then I was just like, Stephanie is still newer champion. and she at least got a promo after her win at WrestlePalooza. And so this is going to be fun. I'm excited to see this match, honestly, but I also don't have faith that WWE is going to have a fun championship run for Stephanie either. It just frustrates me because I'm like, you can't even book. Anyways, we'll be here for too long. Kilt, let's wrap this point up. What do you think of our Women's United States champion being involved in this contract signing and this whole mess with Stephanie and Tiffany?
It's kind of stupid because you're not including the IC champion. Like, if the American champion is going to get involved with the two main event belts, then the IC needs to be part of it. If one mid-card belt is involved with the two main event belts, both mid-card belts need to be involved. It's stupid. Then it comes to 4-on-1 for no reason at all, and that's boring. Well, it's not boring, but it's not. It doesn't make sense. I understand like the two mid-cards going after each other, two main event belts going after each other. Great, that makes sense. This is just too many damn people, and they're trying to make everything cloudy and weird, and I don't like it at all.
Honestly, what Crown Jewel should be is, I know usually like the old school Survivor Series, at least like in the 2010s, just use Crown Jewel as where you have your champions versus champions for the Crown Jewel. So like, of course you have, like, for instance, we're getting Cody and Seth, Tiffany and Stephanie. But then I feel like if you wanted to easily build up the card right now, you have Becky versus Julia, which honestly is a dream match in my opinion. And then you have Sammy versus Dominic, which would also be a lot of fun too. But my biggest thing is with Crown Jewel, currently we have 4 matches scheduled. We have 4 matches scheduled. And when we get into predictions, I'm going to talk about how bad this build has been, especially for one of them, because we have no on-screen development for it. It's been mostly social media and everything and in the news, which is kind of stupid. But yeah, I hate overcrowded segments like this, especially, when we got other women that we could utilize, even if it's short one and done feuds, but I digress. Well, that's it for WWE this week. Once again, we're kind of just spinning our wheels on both brands. We're getting the same people over and over again. And hopefully after Crown Jewel Perth, obviously the next step is the next couple of weeks we'll be leading into Survivor Series. And we'll see what happens with all of that. But don't touch that dial, kids, because now the boys and I are going to be doing our predictions for Crown Jewel Perth. As I said right now, there's only 4 matches scheduled. We're probably going to get one more by the end of this week because Crown Jewel is happening Saturday, October 11th. And we're just going to get into this because this is one of the, again, just kind of like WrestlePalooza. I was just like, there's like maybe 1 or 2 matches that I actually care about. The rest of them, I really don't. So let's just get into it. So the first match we're going to discuss upon is our tag team match that is scheduled for Crown Jewel Perth, which is the team of Io and Rhea versus the Kabuki Warriors, which is Asuka and Kairi. So honestly, to me, there has to be a loser, right? And right now, Rhea and Io have been kind of getting the short end, where they have been the ones who are getting misted and bested by Kairi and Asuka, which makes me very sad because usually my wrestling WWE brain tells me that the Kabuki Warriors are going to lose. But I'm actually going to pick Asuka and Kairi here because I really think that, again, I don't know why I'm putting my trust in WWE, but I really think you have something more interesting if Asuka and Kairi win here. And then you can have Io and Rhea beat them, I don't know, Survivor Series somewhere down the line by the end of 2025. And then, everybody can move on to what they're going to do next. But I'm going to go with the Kabuki Warriors on this one. I'm probably going to lose the point, but that is okay. Kilt, who you got for this tag team match?
I got Rhea and Io with Kairi just fully snapping on Asuka and just turning on her. That's where I'm at. That's what's going to happen because we see the build up. We see it. She's going to get fed up and she's going to turn and it's going to be great. And I'm going to be excited because she deserves to be happy. And then, yeah, I'm Io Rhea.
Okay. And then Minnie, who you got walking out the winner of this one?
Io Rhea, but that will switch if they pull a swerve on us and bring back Dakota Kai.
I miss Dakota. I think her non-compete clause is coming up very shortly. So we'll see, because there's rumors, because over in AEW land, Mercedes threw out an open challenge for her TBS championship this upcoming Tuesday for Dynamite for Title Tuesday. So we shall see, because the rumors are Dakota Kai might be popping in, but who knows? We'll see. But we move on into our next match we're going to talk about. On paper, this should be advertised as like one of the funnest, and this could be a really cool match. The fact that this match is being made over like with an announcement of social media with no on-screen build is kind of depressing. I'm not even gonna lie, you guys. And I was just like, you guys royally screwed it up. The last on-screen thing that we saw of John Cena on the weeklies was, you know, his feud with stupid Brock Lesnar, and then him getting F5 for like 5 minutes at WrestlePalooza to open up the show, by the way, which left a sour taste in everybody's mouth. And then we're going to bypass all of that and be like, oh yeah, Crown Jewel Purse, John Cena's going to face AJ Styles. But that was made in an announcement, and we're not getting any on-screen development for this. So I was just like, how dare you, WWE, do this for Cena and do this to AJ? I'm so pissed off for both of them. I'm so mad for both of them. I was just like, this should be a really fun match. But the fact that we're not even going to put effort into building into this is kind of stupid. And I'm very upset, but, you know, I shouldn't be at this point. I am still going to go with Cena as much as I love AJ. Cena's retiring in December. AJ's retiring next year, which is crazy to say, and that's the same sentence. But I'm going to go with Cena because after losing to Brock Lesnar, I feel like Cena needs to win this one, because then I was just like, so he's just going to keep losing until his retirement match? I guess, whatever. But, Minnie, who you got between Cena and AJ for this one?
I think it's Cena. I don't think he's going to lose very much till his last match. Like, he already got destroyed by Brock. Unless Cena's just going to be like, fuck it, I'm putting everybody over. But I don't know why he would be like, hey AJ, I'm gonna put you over even though you're also retiring in like the next year. But I'm going Cena because I like, you know, it's John Cena. So
very true. And Kilt, who you got for this one?
I got Cena. The only conversation about this was speculation online and dream matching online, and then AJ says it with his match with Dragon Lee versus. This is how much I remember who it was, because I don't even remember who it was that they were fighting.
Los Americanos.
Yeah, Los Americanos. Okay, I'm going to sidestep for a minute. Los Americanos, this whole gimmick is getting better. I'm loving it.
I'm mad that it's the only thing working on Raw right now.
It is so annoying that it's great.
I'm so mad it's actually working.
Oh, man.
I'm mad this is how we're using Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, but the fact that it's getting those two and Ludwig over is so stupid. But I'm so angry that it's actually working. And again, when Grande Americano Latte goes to Mexico, the Mexican fans eat that up. I'm just like, and it helps that Ludwig can speak fluid Spanish.
That's my question. Like, he just does this. I'm like, do you need a fidget toy?
I don't know. But all of us got Cena in this one. I'm mad that there's going to be little to no builds on screen on the TV show, on the weeklies, but it is what it is. Now, surprisingly, outside of Rhea, Io, and the Kabuki Warriors, this is the only other match I actually care about, because I think this is going to be a fun one. For the Women's Crown Jewel Championship, this is Tiffany Stratton, our women's champion, versus Stephanie Vaquette, our women's world champion. I'm gonna be so for real. I'm gonna go with Stephanie because I feel like Tiffany can afford to take a loss here because, again, no title is on the line. Tiffany can afford to lose. I feel like you need to have Stephanie win here to continue to get the rocket strapped to her, because the fact that she's champion and she's like, she is, you know, the main women's champion in the 6 months she's been in here for WWE, keep the rocket strap to her. Tiffany can afford a loss. I'm going to go with Stephanie Vaquer for this one. Kilt, I'm going to go switch it up and come to you first. Who you got here?
Oh, I got la primera, la campeona, freaking Stephanie Vaquer. Oh my God, she is fire. She is amazing, and I'm loving everything. And I just want her to keep going. I want it. 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 I want it.
Very fair. And Minnie, who you got winning this one?
Stephanie Vaquer. I like Tiffany, but I feel like they're pushing Stephanie to the moon right now.
Alrighty, fair enough. So we all have gone with Stephanie on this one, which leads us to our final match for now, which is for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. Our undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes versus the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. We've already discussed this, so I'm not going to rehash it too much. I am not as interested in this build that we have between these two, which I think this match is going to be used as a vehicle to eventually what I probably is going to happen is these two will be captaining their teams for the Survivor Series War Games cage match. So with that being said, I'm actually going to go with Seth here. I think Seth wins here. So, you know, leading into Survivor Series, he can be like, haha, I beat you, Cody Rhodes. And then Cody can win at Survivor Series, which no shade to Crown Jewel Perth, but Survivor Series to me means more getting a win at that pay-per-view than this one, if that makes any sense. So I'm actually going to go with Seth here to win this one. Kilts, who you got between Cody and Seth?
I got Cody. Even though what you just said makes a lot of sense, and I actually like it. And I think that might be how they're figuring it, or they're figuring the reverse. I want to say there's gonna be some fucky wucky shit where something happens. Either Randy kind of interferes, or Randy comes out to run interference with the Brawns. And then something happens, and then there's fucky wucky shit. But I think this is going to be an interesting match, to say the least, but I got Cody.
Okay, and Minnie, who you got for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship?
I just threw my phone on my keyboard. That scared the shit out of me. I don't. This one's a tough one. I feel like either one of them should win. But I want to go Cody, but I feel like there's going to be some Braun shenanigans, which I think is going to end up with being the Usos being brought in. But maybe the Usos, maybe this is where Jay turns heel and super kicks Cody. I don't know, because Jay's been teasing that for like the past 1,400 months. So I'm gonna go tentatively Cody right now because he just returned. Actually, no. Didn't he win last year? I'm gonna go Seth because Cody won last year.
Yeah, Cody won last year. So
I feel like Seth is gonna take it from Cody this year due to some Braun shenanigans. You know,
very, very fair. And well, as of right now, that's the end of our Crown Jewel Perth predictions. Again, we'll probably get one more match made by the end of this week. Raw and SmackDown, both shows are in Australia. So that means they're going to air super early for us here in the States, which means I'm going to watch it after work because I'm not going to stay up super early and late to do all that nonsense. That's crazy to me. But that also leads us to the end of our Dual Dynasty review this week. Before we sign off and go, we have a very chilled week up. It's nothing too crazy, but I'm excited and I'm looking forward to this weekend. So let's take a look at what we got for this upcoming week. So on Tuesday, we have at 6 p.m. Pacific, our AEW review. We are reviewing Dynamite and Collision, and we are officially 2 weeks out from AEW's next pay-per-view, which is Wrestle Dream, coming to us live from St. Louis. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Then on Wednesday, the NXT crew will be here to review the TV special that is happening this week, which is the NXT versus TNA Showdown show, where we are getting 2 4-on-4 matches of Team TNA versus Team NXT. We also have Mustafa Ali of TNA vying for the NXT North American Championship, which is currently held by All Ego Ethan Page. And then we are getting a winner-take-all tag team championship match. The NXT champions, Dark State, will be going up against the TNA champions, the Hardys, and winner take all. So someone's walking out as double tag team champ. So that should be very interesting. And then later that evening at 8 p.m. Pacific, the CMLL crew will be here to review another episode of Viernes Espectacular, as we are inching ever so closer to the Women's Grand Prix event at the end of this month. Then on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, we literally just reviewed TNA's Victory Road pay-per-view this past Friday. And then we will be reviewing the go-home show for TNA and making our predictions for TNA's Bound for Glory, which will lead us into Sunday, the October 12th at 5 p.m. Pacific. The TNA crew will be here doing a live watch-along for Bound for Glory, in which we are getting a lot of matches, which includes Trick Williams putting his TNA World Championship on the line against Mike Santana. We're getting a faction-on-faction warfare. We're getting the Hardys versus the Dudleys in a tables match for TNA Tag Team Championships. But the match that I am most excited about is going to be for the TNA X Division Championship. The youngest in charge, Leon Slater, will be taking on Javon Evans, and that match is already slated to probably be my favorite match of the entire year. So I'm looking forward to all of that, and it's going to be a good time. But that's going to be it for us here. Thank you so much for tuning into Dual Dynasty. We look forward to seeing everyone at this week for all the different reviews. But from all of us here at the BC WrestlePod family, to you, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay biconic, and more importantly than anything, we always deserve to finish your story. We will see you later. So until then, sayonara, adios, peace. But Minnie, remind the folks, why do we do what we do here at BC WrestlePod? Oh, no.
Good one, two.
We love to see it. So until next time, peace.